to be talking about a super interesting topic, Googlebot versus ChatGPT or AI in general, how differently they crawl and understand website. So please sit down and listen. This is one of the biggest issues and biggest misunderstandings, misconceptions in our SEO today. Many people assume that Google can crawl index websites. We know that. And they think ChatGPT will understand your website or interact with your website in the very same way. They don't. The traditional search and AI are fundamentally different because they have got different goals. And you already know this because we already talked about it, that AI, for example, ChatGPT, are there to find an answer to a question, while Google is there to provide links where you can then continue and convert or learn more, right? So for AI, we keep talking about BLUF, bottom line up front, which means ChatGPT really wants to find the information as soon as possible. They ask a question because of the tokenization. They want to find it as cheap, as easy as possible. Google crawls the website, indexes the pages, and does different job to ChatGPT or any other AI. Google's bot mission is very simple. They want to find everything on the internet, and the workflow looks like this. Discover URL, download the HTML, follow the internal links, render JavaScript if there is a JavaScript, extract text, index the page, and based on lots of factors that, we know that there are lots of factors, they rank the page somewhere in 1 to 100 for what we know. Google wants to know, does this page exist? Which keyword do appear and which keyword should I actually rank it for? Which pages are linked to this? Is this unique? Does it bring a value? Should it be indexed? Is it good enough? Because many times you see crawled, not indexed. So they're thinking, is all of this good enough for me to index it and then show it as the link? So the web page that they're going to show you, 1, 2, 3, whatever, it's the final product. So for example, website/best cat food. You all know I'm a crazy cat lady. So Google will ask, does this URL exist? Can I crawl it? Obviously, it would check robots if it's allowed. It will check if it's not no index, no follow. So it will be asking, can I crawl it? Can I index it? Logically. What is the title? What is the H1? What is the structure? Are there internal links? Is there structured data? Are there images? Is there canonical? Is this the main page? Is that the main page? Is it fast enough? Is it a good outcome for my end user human? And then if they determine that all of this is all right, then they will show the one index page, right? In any position. I'm not saying position 1. ChatGPT's mission is completely different. They don't want to show you a URL. They want to go around the web, understand your question, and find you the best answer. So they will ask, what facts exist? Can I trust this information because the brand is authoritative enough? Is it recent? Is it consistent? We were talking about consistency recently. Can I cite it? So they will not show you a URL. They may show URLs as sources where they found the answer. But all they care for is that they find the information and form an answer to your question. Because when you think of it, we really search by questions. We don't search anymore cat food. We would ask, what is the best cat food? And of course, it could be, what is the best cat food for elderly cat, for kitten? But I'm just going with what is the best cat food. And ChatGPT will simply find an answer, what they think is the best cat food. Which URL it's coming from, it's completely irrelevant. All they care about is providing the answers. Google thinks in URLs, right? URL page ranking. AI thinks differently. Question, knowledge, answer. So keep this in mind, how different these two are. Fundamentally, AI optimization and Google optimization are not different because the pages need to be foundable, crawlable, for Google indexable. There has to be content that they can find the answer from. How they're going to serve the information is very different. Google tries to crawl everything that is allowed. So it's exhausted. They are trying to find all of the URLs, and on one website they might crawl so many different things, from homepage to category page to pagination, author pages, PDFs, images, cascading style sheet, archives, a lot of things that us as SEOs need to understand, but in the end, human doesn't really care. And AI doesn't need to really crawl all the images and thousands of URLs. They just want to find an answer. So their process is a little bit straightforward. It will be like, okay, I'm AI, I'm just going to find this answer. So I will check in a cat food, reviews of cat food, maybe some FAQs, and maybe I'll check homepage if it's at all relevant to me, but I might skip it because I already found best cat food in cat food page reviews and FAQs because this is the best food for kitten. And I know it, and I'm going to give you the answer. As well, Google loves internal links. We already know it. You need to help bots to navigate your website because the websites, usually in many industries, are huge. There are thousands and thousands of pages. So you want to make sure that we don't have orphan pages, the structure is logical, so they go from home page to category to article, another related article, tags and archives. And they'll start to understand what is the crawl path and what to rank. AI doesn't. AI starts with question and ends with answer. So the user might ask, is Royal Canin a good cat food? And AI looks for cat food, Royal Canin, domestic cat food, lots of other things. So the search is much narrower because they are just finding the answer because they are working with tokens. They're trying to make it as cheap as possible for themselves. So again, help them. Google cares about rankings, of course. We all fight for position 1, 2, 3. We all do everything. We do lots of technical things, lots of links, lots of content, even better content. We care about UX and speed and all of that. And AI does not care about any 10 blue links. They're not going to rank you. So I hate when people say, can I rank in AI? You don't really rank. You become a source that could be used for an answer. So again, instead of showing you 10 results, they're going to show you one answer. Depending what's your prompt, what you're asking, that detailed will be the answer. And it just will evaluate if the source is authoritative and trustworthy, if the content is relevant to what they want to answer, and if it's consistent from around the web. So let's say 9 websites would say Royal Canin is great, 1 website would say is average. They will go with, it is okay cat food because it's consistently ranked as okay cat food or good cat food. As well, Google thinks in documents, and they love storing documents and going through them, document A, B, C, and how they support each other, right? AI thinks in concept. So they would go for what is the best food for an outdoor adult cat. They will not look through one single URL, a document. They will go through concept. Indoor cats, nutritional needs, nutritional values, dry food versus wet food, Royal Canin indoor, protein and fiber, are there any veterinarian recommendations, feeding guidelines in cat health. So they will go through all of that concept, which means entities for AIs are much more important than for Google. And as well, Google optimizes discovery, which means crawl budgets, sitemaps, canonical tags, robots, internal links, page hierarchy. For example, Googlebot comes to your website, looks for cat food, goes to cat food, checks AI, H1, meta title, images, internal links, canonical, robots, all of that. And through all of this, chooses the one most relevant web page from all your pages to rank for certain keywords or keyword, depending how it's optimized. And AI uses understanding. They are understanding question that is being asked. Sometimes they get it wrong. And then they look for answers. And if the answer is back, you just communicate again saying, no, I meant this. Oh no, can you check for outdoor cat now? So they will sort of try to understand the topic a little bit more deeply. And that's why we need to work with bluff and with providing very simple answers to very difficult questions. So AI users may ask, is rail canyon good for indoor cats? And then they will start to look into rail canyon indoor, nutritional values, protein, fats, hair balls, reviews from people, what are they saying, weight management, all of this. And then they will answer your question. Now, this is basically 10 minutes of the differences. In summary, why does this change SEO? Doesn't change it fundamentally. The basics are still there. You still need a website and you still need to be all around the web, obviously, for AI. But you still need to have pages that are crawlable, that are foundable. So if you are blocking Googlebots from finding the pages and you are blocking AI from finding the pages, they're both going to struggle. But traditional SEO would ask, how do I get this page ranked? That's what we ask. Okay, what are my competitors doing better, that they're ranking better than me? I'm going to observe, I'm going to audit, I'm going to learn, and I'm going to try to steal and sort of redo their strategy for me. Right? That's what we do. We are little magpies. AI, when we are optimizing for AI, so in AI era, we would do, how do I become the most reliable source for answering this topic? How do I become the brand, the page, the top listicle that will be cited? So you need to think of this when you are optimizing for SEO and AI, because ideally you want to be visible in both. You're not going to drop Google from tomorrow because, oh my goodness, Google is irrelevant. No. And you're not going to change all of your strategy just for AI. Simply no. There is not everything is AI. It's not, you don't get the traffic from it that much. You get more recognition. So you cannot have one or the other. You need to learn how to optimize for both and how to work with both to get the best results. Thank you.
If you got value from this video and want direct access to us, weekly calls, training, and the latest SEO updates, and a community of people operating at this level, click the link in the description to join the boardroom. We'll see you inside.